Welcome Oni Clips Fortnite gamers. Today we've got quite the serious topic. And to show how serious I am, I've got my Leave This to the Professionals t-shirt. Leave this to the professionals. That's how serious I am today, boys. Because I take gaming very seriously. And I'm sure if you guys are watching this channel, you do too. So, enough messing around. Let's get right into the topic of today. So, extremely recently, we've gotten the PlayStation live stream that showcased a bunch of their games, which are very exciting, and we're going to talk about some of those today. But I mainly want to talk about two different points. The first one is going to be the games that we saw on the live stream and how excited I am for some of them. The number one thing I'm excited for right now, I think, is and everyone else too, is the Spider-Man 2 on the PS5. That's going to be very exciting. But also there are a couple of games that caught my eye, like Metal Gear Solid 3's remake, and then the Blade Zero thing, that game as well. That looked very exciting as well. And then I'm also interested in Dragon's Dogma. I don't know how well I'll have to go back to the trailer and see, but I'm also excited for Dragon's Dogma. We'll see how that works out though. But yeah, we're going to talk about that, the games, and then we're also going to talk about fake leakers. So, let's hop right into the meat and potatoes of it. Let's talk about the games. Guys, Spider-Man 2, we've won. We win. Like, Xbox has, they've fully admitted they have nothing. But we won. Anyway, we're kicking the dead fucking horse while it's down. We don't care. Hey, listen, Spider-Man 2, baby. Spider-Man 2, it's going to be hype. It's going to be hype. Now, do I think it's going to be Game of the Year? Probably not. It look, from what I've seen, they've added some new stuff to it. They've added some new stuff, like new mechanics and stuff like that, and then also the Venom suit. Spoilers if you haven't seen the trailer, but they literally show you 12 minutes of gameplay. But they also show the Venom suit and the symbiote suit and stuff like that, and it looks very good, by the way, very, very good. The thing is, and the thing that I think might hinder it from being Game of the Year is it looks like a lot of the same rehash, like, combat, right? Which is fine. It works for what the Spider-Man game is. But I think what Tears of the Kingdom was doing innovated immensely upon what was already great. So I think that's what probably is going to qualify as a Game of the Year contender for me. That's just me personally. I know I might get attacked for that. But I'm just saying, man. Just saying. It seems very, very good. It looks good. Spider-Man 2 looks good, but I don't think it's going to win Game of the Year. That's just my personal opinion, right? And I'm sure you guys have your own, and that's completely fine. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the Spider-Man trailer in the comments. I'd love to hear your guys' opinion. But don't be too evil or mean or, both, right? And then number 2, I am excited for that Blade Zero game. The combat does look fun. I'm just a little worried that it's going to, we're actually going to get our hands on the game and it's going to be very stale. It could be, we've seen things like this before happen where it was like Ghostwire. Ghostwire came out, they made the combat look kind of interesting, and then you get your hands on the game and it's like, holy shit, this is a fucking bore fest. Unfortunately, right? That's just how some games. That's how you're gonna have to look at some games nowadays. Like some are gonna be stinkers, some aren't. But that's with everything, right? And I'm sure it was like that back then too. Some games are just gonna be stinkers, and you got to keep your eye out, right? This Spider-Man 2 game could be a stinker. We don't know, man. Although I doubt Insomniac. They're gonna fumble it, right? I doubt they're gonna fumble that game. And the Metal Gear Solid 3. I cannot for the life of me remember all of what happened in the older Metal Gear Solids. I might have to go back and like play the games. We'll see if I'm willing to do that. But I mean, if I do, I'll probably stream it. By the way, twitch.tv/Oni_King. X, go check it out. We have some fun times over there. Some interesting shit happens every so often. So yeah, I would go check this out right now. The link's gonna be in the description. Also, I have 2 other channels. Go check me out there too. But anyway, the PlayStation event, they showed some pretty good stuff, right? Some good stuff. Dragon's Dogma, I'm interested in for really reasons outside of it being a video game. It's just I've never really had experience with Dragon's Dogma, so I want to try it out. And this might be my first time doing it, so we'll see. That's why I'm interested. But I think that the PlayStation event really was a kind of a letdown. And this is going to lead us into our second topic, which are fake leakers. It feels like everybody nowadays wants clout in some way, shape, or form because people are desperate for it to the point where they will just straight up lie to entire communities. And listen, I'm not way too mad about it because at the end of the day, like I like to take things with a grain of salt. Sometimes I fail in that aspect. I don't do enough research, and that's on me, and I always realize that. Um, but when it comes to leaks on Twitter, it's like, I don't know if I fully trust you, right? So I typically wait until the thing is out, and then I'm like, okay, I'll cross reference and be like, okay, this guy seems pretty, you know, commendable, right? But in the case of some leakers, it's just completely wrong. So if you've been on Twitter recently, you kind of know that there was a PlayStation Showcase leak kind of going around. And I think like the amount of you could kind of tell it was fake because it wasn't ever consistent between different communities. Like I'm pretty passionate about the Dokkan community. That's the one I'm in on Twitter, basically. And so there was leaks going around like catered to like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball fans, right? Like the Budokai Tenkaichi 4, very exciting game. People were very excited to see that in the showcase, and unfortunately that didn't happen, right? It does suck, but I don't think it would be a PlayStation exclusive anyway. Um, so it's just sometimes like leakers can get kind of out of hand, and I think I don't even think it's really the leaker's fault. It's kind of their fault for kind of advertising it that way. But I really think it's up to you guys to kind of do your own research and understand that like to take everything you see on the internet with a grain of salt. It seems like nowadays people just aren't capable of doing that, and so they believe the first thing they see, which is I mean like kind of understandable. But when it comes to the case of leaks, they're it's hard to be sure unless you absolutely do that research for it. Some people just aren't going to do that, and so leaks will spread like wildfire, and people will get their hopes up and then be let down and then be mad at the leakers for lying to them, which is fair enough, right? Leakers suck in some aspects, right? I don't always think that leaks are bad, but I know some people that's its own little controversial thing. I don't typically think that way, but it some people will have their different opinions. Now, the reason I'm talking about leaks is because the PlayStation Showcase is just has ended. We have all the games, and on Twitter, when the people didn't get the games they wanted showcased, they got mad, angry, livid. So there's just a bunch of people on Twitter right now going off on this original on the original PlayStation Showcase leak, which by the way just had some fucking like the ones I'm seeing they're just some strange little names on there. So I don't know how anybody believed it, right? Seeing it, and you can probably just look it up on Twitter if you guys really wanted to see that stuff. It's just PlayStation leak if you guys are really curious, right? I wouldn't recommend it. I don't even really like Twitter like that. So anybody who just hops, I wouldn't even recommend hopping on Twitter. But anyway, that's it for today, guys. I don't really care for leakers. I think leaks themselves are fine, right? Fake leakers, it's just stupid. I think it's literally just clout chasing. You want this to get popular, and most likely will, unfortunately, right? And then a lot of people are let down, which does suck for them. It does suck, but it also you hold some responsibility for it too. I'm just saying, we all hold some responsibility in some sense, right? Anyway, that's gonna do it for today, guys. I really appreciate you boys tuning in and listening to me ramble on. I don't script these, so like I'm sure it's just gonna be all over the place because I'm an all over the place person, right? I don't always structure my stuff well or my words well, but I appreciate anybody who listened to this little tangent of mine. I'm very excited for Spider-Man 2. I hope you guys are too. And yeah, hopefully scalpers don't come back. That'd be a terrible thing to happen. There are going to be a lot of people who want to get their hands on a PlayStation 5, I'm sure. So we'll just see how that works. Hopefully they don't, though. Scalpers, you suck. Anyway, that's going to do for today, guys. I love y'all. Let's try to be better people every day. And yeah, I'll see ya later. Bye. Bye. I know I rambled on for quite some time, but I love y'all. Thank you for listening to me ramble. Bye.